Common Side Effects is a show I've been excited about for a while now. Not just because it features one of the co-creators of Scavenger's Reign, one of the best adult animated shows of the last 5 years, or the fact that Mike Judge is involved and he made one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time, and no, not because it stars Chad from Cold Ones. What excited me about Common Side Effects was the premise. From the second I heard about the show, I thought the premise had potential. What if there was a mushroom that was so powerful it could cure anything? It's an intriguing hypothetical that comes up often in the world of conspiracy theories, but unlike a show like Inside Job, which was a show that regularly poked fun and joked around with conspiracy theories, until Netflix murdered it, Common Side Effects takes a much more grounded approach. They take this hypothetical and run with it. What if a super genius discovered a mushroom so powerful it stood to destroy the entirety of the pharmaceuticals industry? Would everyone just accept this advancement in human evolution, or would they do something else? Quick answer is, yeah, they'd probably do something else. A lot of people would be pretty peeved at this discovery, to say the least. As I'm sure a lot of you can guess, people who make money off you being sick don't really have a reason to cure or treat you quickly and efficiently when they can milk you for money like a heifer. So naturally, the people in power at large pharmaceutical companies have every reason under the sun to stop a discovery like a cure-all mushroom from becoming public. This is the setup for Common Side Effects. It is about just that. And the best thing about centering your whole TV show around a really interesting hypothetical with a lot of room to move around in when it comes to directions characters can go is that there is a logical path of motivation for just about all of our characters. Everyone has a reason to go after this magical cure-all mushroom in Common Side Effects, whether the reasons are selfish or selfless. Everyone in the story has a real reason to be there.
Well, gee, Mr. Cal, that sounds like basic storytelling.
Yeah, it is basic storytelling, and a lot of shows still fuck it up, which makes it all the more impressive that Common Side Effects gets this almost perfect from the outset. The only exception is a character called Gregory, which I guess brings us to this show's sense of humor. Common Side Effects is very dry and dark with its sense of humor, and I found myself laughing along for almost the entirety of the first 2 premiere episodes. And again, notice I said almost, and that's because of this character, Gregory, this show's real antagonist, but not really. There's one scene where Marshall and Francis are talking in a coffee shop about the magic mushroom and how dangerous it is and how everyone in the world has a reason to go after this thing. The writers wanted to break the tension a bit and inserted a gag where the barista at the coffee shop calls out an order for a character called Gregory, the joke being that they got his name wrong, his name of course being Gregory. But as it turns out, they actually had his name right, and his name is Gregory. It's a real Simpsons Bort situation.
Mommy, buy me a license plate!
No, come along, Bort.
Are you talking to me?
No, my son is also named Bort.
Now I bet you guys are wondering, why the fuck are we talking about this instead of the actual good parts of the show? And I must remind you that this is, in fact, the only bad part of Common Side Effects that I did not like. And that is because everything around this dumb joke is perfect. And I love a good dumb joke, but this is the only moment in the entire show where the pace is screeched to a halt in exchange for a cheap laugh. They don't do this ever again in these first 2 episodes, and thank God, because this show just keeps on going and building on itself, and you are on the edge of your seat the entire time. Because while yes, Common Side Effects is a comedy, it's a dark comedy, what it really is a mystery thriller, and a really fucking good one at that. This Gregory joke was a standout moment for me because it showed me what I didn't want this show to be, and what for the most part it wasn't. I didn't want your standard adult animated comedy series with a premise that kind of gets forgotten about in exchange for cheap jokes. I want this premise explored with these characters, these voice actors, and this animation style with these writers. I am fully sold on the story behind this show, and I'm not going to spoil it here, but I guarantee you will feel the same way. It is that good. And it's not just the story and the premise. The animation is unique and creative. The voice performances aren't just good, they are pitch perfect for the tone of the show and the designs of the characters. There's a realism to how the characters talk, and not that Rick and Morty rambly realism, which still has its place and is fine, but instead a quieter, more thoughtful kind of realism.
Then all of a sudden the world got very, very real. I mean, I got all this student debt, and then my mom got dementia.
Oh, Francis, I'm sorry. Sonia, yeah, I remember your mother.
Oh, yeah, well, she doesn't remember you or anything.
In the same way that something like Smiling Friends is funny because the characters are so grounded to almost a fault, where they have like heart palpitations and they're coughing and sneezing and they're stubbing their toes and bumping their elbows on things and they're just way too real for how cartoony they feel. This show is almost the opposite. Everything feels kind of grounded, gray, a little gross, a little bit too real and on the nose. And then you hear these characters talk and you realize that while they're going through all this stuff for the main story, they still have their other lives in the background. They still have family members. They still have old friends. They have people that they think about, and you can feel their thoughtfulness when they talk. You can feel how much is on their mind. It's just really incredible and not something I've seen since, frankly, Scavenger's Reign, which I guess goes to show you how good that show was too. There are effective action scenes, drug trip scenes, daring escapes, hilarious, cynical corporate banter, heartfelt moments. The two DEA agent characters are genuinely hilarious. They establish that these two are partners and best friends who know everything about each other without having to use a single word. They just have them dance together while one of them gets a hot dog, and suddenly you get it. They could have been like, "Hey partner, how long have we known each other?" "Since we were kids."
Yeah, we got some history that goes back deep, and it is because of that history that we are such good friends and partners at the DEA today.
Shut the fuck up, okay? Talk less, express instead, okay? Sometimes things are funnier and more efficient when you just shut the fuck up. And Common Side Effects is so good that sometimes they don't even need words to win you over. They don't need words to tell you about a character or tell you about the world. They'll just show you, like, you know, a visual medium does. And keep in mind, with all the praising I've done of Common Side Effects, this is only the first 2 episodes we're talking about. And I haven't even really spoiled anything yet. You could go watch these 2 episodes right now and there'd still be plenty of surprises for you. So yes, Common Side Effects is amazing. But now I have to ask you all, why the fuck aren't you watching this right now? Seriously, go watch this shit, you dumb morons. What is wrong with you? For every person out there on the planet who says,
Oh, they're not making any good TV shows anymore.
they're wrong, and they're stupid, and they probably don't have good opinions about most things. If you catch yourself ever saying that, you're a moron, but you don't have to be. If you actually want a good show to watch, listen to people when they say there's a good show out there, and don't say, oh, I'll get to it when it's all out. Watch it. Get in on the ground floor of Common Side Effects with me, okay? Let's go through this together. I'll do a full review when the show comes out. Maybe it'll start sucking with episode 3. Who knows? But I'm willing to roll those dice because the first 2 episodes are really that good. So go and watch it. Stop being so cynical. Give something new a try. And if you can't bring yourself to watch it, please go to your local pharmacist. I hear they have a new drug for that now. It's called Not Being a Little Bitch. It's a 500 milligram tablet. Side effects include being horny and peeing blood. Don't ask your doctor. They hate when I waste their time with bits like this. Go watch Common Side Effects, please.